Hello, what's up? Aj, what's up, everyone? Give me a sec. I'm still setting up. Give me a couple of seconds. Hello, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, Sajal. You're the first comment of this stream. Hello. आज हमारी सोमवार की स्ट्रीम है. Today's our Monday stream, and without telling you what exactly we're going to talk about, I can give you an expectation today that Monday is a productive day, right? Monday is a day where we talk about what's happening. How do you get yourself ready for the week ahead, right? Yesterday was a chill stream. It was Sunday. Today being Monday, we're going to talk about a lot of serious stuff today. One hint is already in the description. Description में देखोगे आप NFTs के बारे में आज बात करने वाले हैं. So that is one thing. But other than that, we have a few more things we want to talk about today. So जल्दी से, can somebody share the link in the Discord? मैं आज अपने कुछ NFTs के बारे में बात करने वाला हूँ, and today is actually a very very big day in the NFT community because आज हम एक auction है, तो उस auction के बारे में हम बात करेंगे. And today what's happening, today what's happening will be talked about for the next couple of days, weeks, months, years, right? Today is a very history defining moment in NFTs, and it's happening right now, literally right now. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to give you an update on what that is, and that is going to be super interesting. So before we jump into that, let's give a quick round of hellos. A quick round of hellos to Sajal. What's up? Shubham, Shivam, Ritesh, Shubhank, Vidhu, Idash, what's up? What's up, Anirudh? What's up, Natansh? Hello, Sahil. बढ़िया ब्रो. आज हमारी बहुत सॉलिड एकदम सॉलिड स्ट्रीम है. एक बार ये भी हो रही है, अगर आपने नोटिस किया हो, आज हमारे सिर्फ 30 व्यूअर्स हैं, राइट? तो ऑटोमेटिकली अगर आप नोटिस करो, आज हमारी 12वीं स्ट्रीम है, दिस इज आवर 12th स्ट्रीम, वी आर ऑटोमेटिकली फेसिंग सम ड्रॉप ऑफ, राइट? Which on a very meta level is very normal for any project that you start. Any project that you start, in the beginning there's a lot of people because they're like, there's something new, right? People are attracted to new things, shiny objects. But once that new thing becomes a normal thing, a lot of people drop off. So to the 34 people who are watching this, namaste. Thank you for sticking along. It's not really something I can say where I want every stream to be 100 people. But this really helps. Okay, knowing that all of you are coming here consistently means there is some value being delivered, and that's all I care about. Because in the end, let's set big picture here. Big picture is, in a couple of years, NFTs are going to be mainstream. When I say couple of years, you might be thinking 10, 20. No. In the next two years, NFTs are going to become very, very mainstream. And at that point, people are going to be like, dude, it suddenly happened. And all of us here, we're going to be like, it wasn't sudden at all. It was slow daily streams with something happening, and we figured it out together, right? So mostly, folks, we're doing this for history. Right? We're doing this for history. A lot of people have dropped out because of IPL. Now, I want to red pill all of you a little bit on IPL as well, okay? I think that sets a great context for us entering आज की stream. Now, IPL, of course, all of you know, Indian Premier League, massive, massive cricket tournament. It's the number one thing on most people's minds in India right now. Now, what happens, right? Let me. Now, what happens is it's not just the IPL. There are things happening every single time, every single month, every single week. There's things that happen that absorb collective consciousness. Not in any fancy way, right? Absorb collective consciousness. What does that mean? It means it does something that engages enough people to be a part of a scene, right? IPL is a scene in the same way that Premier League, right? If you watch football, football is a scene. Now, I will never say cricket is bad. Cricket is not bad, right? IPL is sort of like India's Super Bowl for people who are not Indian in the chat right now. Um, it is a scene, but I want you to all to, what we see as IPL on TV is actually this event means a very different thing to different people. I want you all to recognize that, right? That's all I want to touch upon before we talk about NFTs, which is when you look at IPL, you see matches happening every day. Your participation in IPL is you watching these matches, talking about them on Twitter, talking about them with your friends tomorrow. And then there's a new match and you forget about the match that happened 2 or 3 days ago. You do this for a certain number of weeks. However, don't assume that the IPL experience is the same for everybody. Think about what's the IPL experience for a sponsor in the IPL. For a sponsor in the IPL is a big moment in their business because it helps them make sales. It increases visibility of their brand, right? They make a lot of money through that. Now, of course, it's not wrong to make money, right? In the end, they're also taking a bet to buy that ad spot. They don't know whether it'll exactly convert into increased brand awareness. It's a guess. It's a fairly accurate, educated guess at this point. It will lead to brand awareness, but they're taking a bet, and it's a money making, profit making, wealth generation opportunity for, let's say, the sponsors, for IPL themselves, for team owners, for the individual cricketers, right? It's a game changing moment for all of them, right? I saw the story of this one cricketer today. I forgot the details of the story as well as the cricketer name. Someone who got a 1.2 crore contract, and they said, we've had so much financial trouble in our family, so this seems like a dream. And that is amazing. That is amazing. New talent in India that gets discovered through the IPL. That is one of the best things about the IPL. And one of the reasons that player gets a 1.2 crore contract or whatever is because the rest of the system exists as well, right? The sponsors, the IPL, the BCCI, or all the regulatory bodies, the owners, it's not just one layer of sponsors, right? There's multiple layers of sponsors, right? It's a big networked organism. The reason that player is able to now generate wealth, right, from maybe a small town in India, and now they're able to get this national, sort of international opportunity, is because some of us are watching IPL. If nobody was watching IPL, it wouldn't be worth 1.2 crore, right? So for everybody who's watching IPL, I'm very happy that you're watching IPL because it helps generate a lot of wealth for young talent. However, for the of you who are here who are not watching IPL, I want to congratulate you. Okay, not because the people who are watching IPL are bad. It's great that they're watching IPL because it generates more wealth. It adds to the economy. For those of you who are here, my guess is you've realized that IPL is a game and you cannot participate in all games at all times. What does that mean? Opportunity cost. Those 2 or 3 hours that you spend watching a cricket match, you're not going to get them back again, right? And those 2 or 3 hours you could have spent doing something else, but you've now taken that decision to watch the match, which is okay, right? Entertainment is an important part of all of our lives. and it should be, right? However, people who are here, you've realized that there's something else going on in the world right now that's way bigger than IPL. And it's not just one thing going on, which is crypto. Not just one thing going on, which is NFTs. There's a lot of people who are involved with different projects, different things. But overall, as we discussed on yesterday's stream, we're going through a great acceleration. The thing with exponential growth is it comes faster than you expect it. It comes faster than you expect it, right? Which means if we're seeing exponential growth right now with, let's say, something, let's pick NFTs. It means if you assume it's going to take 5 years, it's probably going to be much, much lesser, a year or two, right? Because exponential growth means it accelerates, the rate of growth increases. So there will be a time when the window closes. There's a window of opportunity open right now, but I'll say this, it's not FOMO. A window of opportunity is open every single day. It's just that most people aren't looking for windows of opportunities. And the fact that you're here, you are interested in learning about something, you're way ahead of a lot of people. So, I congratulate you on that. The similarities between IPL and NFTs. IPL is going to be a wealth generation event for the Indian economy. Think about with lockdowns, what's happening is people are spending less money on, let's say, travel, on real world, like physical shopping, right? Most of their money is going to Amazon and online retailers. Now, that kind of movement in the economy, which slows down, is a problem, right? It's a problem. So that way, IPL is a good economic event that's happening. But a bigger economic event that's happening is NFTs. Let's talk about NFTs. Okay. When we spoke about IPL, we said everybody is making money. Who is not making money in IPL? It's you. It's the viewers. The viewers are not making money in IPL. The people who are betting on IPL are making a lot of money on IPL, right? But the people who are betting is a very small number compared to the total number of people who are watching, right? So everybody is making money because of the IPL except for you. Understand that. You are giving all this information, attention, but you're not making any money in return. You're getting entertainment. And that's a fair deal. I'm not saying they should be making you money. But almost for, like, with NFTs, it's not just about NFTs, right? If you think NFTs is NFTs, you miss the picture. The thing is, imagine if you could participate in a scene in the same way that we're participating in the IPL scene, by giving it our mental attention, by tweeting about it, by telling our friends, talking about a match, watching these matches. Imagine you could get paid for being a part of a scene. Everybody's making money from IPL except for you. What if you could actually make money from the IPL in very standard ways? Let me give you one example of that. Let's say you invested in Royal Challengers Bangalore. Number one, you can't invest in RCB. You have to be very, very rich to own an IPL team. However, what if there was a way that you could actually own a part of RCB? Instead of buying merch, you buy an NFT that represents some kind of ownership or some kind of match performance, an NFT or a token that's tied to IPL's performance, RCB's performance in IPL. When you become a part owner of the team, the point is today, very few people in the world can be sports team owners. You have to be very, very rich to be at that level. And that's a missed opportunity. That means there's a certain type of people who will never be able to participate and they can't get wealthy or richer because of that. With NFTs, we now have the opportunity to redefine that, because the system that we've created, forget a specific project or stuff, let's talk about the concept in general. The system we've created is one where early adopters of a technology, of a product, of a project can back that project by buying, in very simple terms, tokens, right? So here we were talking about the RCB example, but let's talk about this bro community, right? We have a Discord. Right now we don't have our own token, but let's say in the future we had our own bro token. You get that token Not, you just get that token for fun, right? All 1111 people who've joined our Discord, you're going to be getting an airdrop of our tokens at some point in the future, right? Why are we giving you that token? Because you came and watched the stream, you participated in the community, you created art for the community, and that's a valuable contribution, right? So what if we could reward you in that way with these tokens? And now these tokens, you could liquidate them at any time. You could sell them on an open market. That is what NFT projects look like today. So today we're going to talk about a very specific NFT project, right? We're going to be talking about the Fungibles by Murat Pak. Now, let me quickly screen share. I'll get into it. But this is a very, very big deal. A very, very big deal. Let me just tell you this. You all remember Beeple? You remember Beeple from a few weeks, what seems like a few months or years ago? It's about to happen again, right? What was Beeple? Beeple was an artist who has been doing everydays for a good number of years. One of his most expensive pieces was bought by Metakovan. Metakovan is Indian, by the way, an Indian team. Metakovan and Troubadour bought Beeple's piece, a piece which is a composite of all their everydays. They bought that for $69 million, right? So let me just say this without getting into details. Beeple was a big deal. What happens when something like this happens, an event, is the rest of the world who is not into the NFT scene wakes up. They look at it and they're like, wow, this is crazy. Like, firstly, they'll be like, yo, there's a meme right in there. They paid 69 million. Number two, they're like, yo, 69 million is a lot of money. What did they get in return? It was a huge ass JPEG or PNG or whatever. Right? So these kind of big events bring visibility to ecosystems, right? So this was a big one. And when something like this happens, what do you think happens to the rest of Beeple's pieces? They all skyrocket in price. So let's say you are a very, very early Beeple fan and you bought one of his pieces when he first started making NFTs. When something like this happens, people are like, Beeple as an artist, imagine Beeple on the stock market. There's a lot of demand for Beeple now because Beeple is on the front page of every single newspaper, every single media outlet in the world. So the price of old pieces increases. And we are seeing something very similar happening literally today, literally started a few hours ago with the Murat Pak Sotheby's drop. Sotheby, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sotheby's is an auction house in New York. For people who don't know, they've been around for really long, right? So the fact that this auction is happening with them means it's a big deal already. Because Sotheby's was started years ago. Sotheby's literally years ago. Okay, let me open their Wikipedia. Sotheby's has been around since 11th March 1744. Wow. Oh man, I didn't know this, by the way. I thought it would be 1800s. But Sotheby's been around for a while, right? Another big auction that happened on Sotheby's was the Cryptopunks. Or actually is happening rather. Am I mixing it up? Yeah. So Cryptopunks NFTs are going to be auctioned by Christie's. Christie's is another big auction house. And this is going to be a little while from now. There are about 1,000 Cryptopunks in total. Cryptopunks, I would say, one of the OG projects in this space, right? Most of you familiar with this already. It was one of the very first projects, June 2017. Imagine being one of the very first NFTs ever, right? So imagine if NFTs are here to stay. 20 years from now, or 100 years from now, or 200 years from now, obviously one of the very first projects on the Ethereum blockchain, first NFT projects on the crypto blockchain is going to be worth a lot. So already you see the floor, right? When you're talking about NFTs, you typically have something. You have your average, which is what's the average a piece in this project goes for. And then you also have your floor, which is the minimum price at the moment. So the most expensive punk ever sold, which is this one, was sold about 4,200 ETH. Very interestingly, this was sold by the CEO of Figma, right? So for all of you designers out there, you know Figma, right? I'll just say that you know Figma. Dylan Field, the CEO of Figma, bought this, and he was able to sell it for this much. And of course, he didn't want to sell, but you should check out this piece that he did. He has this Oscar, almost Oscar-worthy presentation where he talks about him and his emotional attachment that he developed to his punk and what it means to find somebody else in the world who's just as attached. Beautiful, okay? So, anyways, Punks has an auction coming up as well with Christie's. They're going to be, I think there's about a set of punks that they're going to be auctioning off, which obviously means the price shoots up, right? Today, you can buy a punk for about 20 or 25 ETH. I don't have a punk. I deeply regret not having one. You can even, you probably can't get one for 15. So, what you'll also notice is these are bids, not accepted offers. Let's see. The lowest price punk currently for sale is 20th. Okay. So very likely that this is going to shoot up. But what I was talking about is punks, Beeples, and today Murat Pak. Today's Murat Pak drop. These are monumental. These are very big deals because this suddenly gives an air of legitimacy, even if temporary, to a niche field such as NFTs. So let's jump into this. Let's jump into today's what we have discussed, what we're going to discuss for today. So, who is Murat Pak? Right? That's probably the first place where you might want to start. Murat Pak, right, is pseudonymous, right? Very few people in the world know who Murat Pak is. Going by the name, I would assume it's a Turkish dude. Okay, but again, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But Park has been around forever. If you on the internet space, okay, he's been creating art for many years. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with one of his projects called the Archilect. Very likely that you've seen this on your Twitter at some point, right? Archilect is this. I don't know exactly how it works. It's the bot that mines the web to find inspiration, right? And it tweets it out as these random posts with no context. And then the retweets that these posts get, it uses that to decide interestingness. And then that fine tunes the algorithm for Archilect to find more interesting images from the internet. Right? So roughly something like that is how it works. Archilect, of course, been around for a long time. Archilect was first started in 2014. Murat Pak also has a bunch of other projects. Archilect is just one of the most popular ones that's been around for a while. But Murat Pak himself joined in 2009. So, he's been around for a really long time, 13.6k tweets. I do want to dive into some of Murat Pak's very old work. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that reveals a lot about who Murat Pak is as an artist, and what he believes in. But today, maybe we'll focus just on Fungibles. So this is the first drop that went out, right? This was the cube. We'll talk about what exactly this is. But purchasing is now closed, right? So literally a few hours ago, you could have bought one for 500 USD. Now, of course, this is not an NFT yet. What you're buying it for 500 USD is not the NFT. I'll explain that in just a bit. But the kind of traction this got was insane. Okay, I was on that page. I will not reveal whether I have bought some or not. Not yet, at least. But literally, I was on that page. I saw my clock turn, whatever, my local time zone when it was supposed to drop. I refreshed the page. 6,000 units sold in 20 seconds. I refreshed the page again. 10,000 units sold in 2 minutes. That represents $5 million invested into this project. This is what it was. As it stands, about 14,882 pieces have been sold. The concept over here, let's jump into that. I think we'll find a better idea of that on Christie's side, right? Oh, sorry, why am I saying Christie? Sotheby's side. Now, there are a bunch of different pieces available, some of which are one out of one editions, some of which are multiple. So obviously the one that we just saw, this one, I think there might be an upper limit to this. Some people were saying there are only 10,000 units, but not sure about that. Let's see. But again, this doesn't represent the NFT, so it doesn't mean 14,000 whatever NFTs have been sold, right? It's a unit that goes towards redemption. We'll talk about that in just a sec. So one thing I also want you to note is this, what you're seeing here, is at some level performance art. This entire system that's been set up is not generally representative of NFTs. Not all NFTs have, this kind of open drop, which is a redemption token, and then you have these others. With NFTs, artists have the opportunities to create these complex, elaborate games, right? These are games. These are mass scale, massively multiplayer, online role-playing games. Okay, and I'll show you some of the performance art aspect of this as well. But before that, let's get our fundamentals straight on what exactly this means. Now you have your open editions, right? Today, it was open for about 15 minutes. People could buy it for 500. From what I'm hearing from a bunch of Discords that I'm a part of, tomorrow's edition is going to be priced at $1,000. And then the third open edition is going to be 1,500, although I'm not sure about that. But what happens is you can buy these cubes, right? They're not NFTs, but they're a token for redeeming the NFT. You can buy these cubes individually or many at a time, and you can redeem them for NFTs. So if you buy just one cube, you will receive one NFT called a cube. Simple, right? Simple so far. However, if you buy 6, you receive 2 NFTs. One NFT called 5 cubes and one called 1 cube. And technically this sums up to 6 cubes in value. If you buy 26, you get 3 NFTs, 20, 5 and a cube. So very interestingly, this entire structure has been conceptualized by Murat, and maybe if Murat has a team, by his team. So these cubes, now of course, there are some special edition cubes as well, right? I'm going to quickly take a chat break to make sure everybody's on point so far. Okay, let's proceed further. Now there are a lot of one out of one cubes, and these were run as contests. These were run as contests or quizzes or puzzles on Twitter, right? That's what makes this all a very, very elaborate game that everybody around the world is playing with real money, real ownership. So let me show you what some of these were. What we just talked about were the open editions that, 15-minute time slot anybody can buy and they can redeem for an NFT. A lot of people will have this NFT, by the way, because this is an open edition. However, let's talk about complexity. There's only 100 of these. The way you get this is the 100 people who buy the most open edition cubes receive this as an NFT. So out of these, out of the 14,000 that have been bought, I'm assuming it's not 14,000 people since people have bought multiple. 100 of them are going to receive this. So that's something we're going to be waiting on to see who wins this. We have another one out of one called the cube, which will be given to the first person. Like, this is an addition of 1. Will be given to the person who buys the most by the end of this 3-day period. So that will be this, right? This is the cube. Equilibrium has 4 in it, okay? Equilibrium, this is where the Twitter contests were happening. We talked about a little bit of this on one of the previous streams, but the very first one was the cryptographer. This was literally a Twitter puzzle that Pak put out, and the first person to solve it gets this NFT. But let me show you what the puzzle was. So equilibrium, there are 4 in it, right? As we just saw, it's an addition of 4. Cryptographer, hunter, influencer, oracle. Let's talk about the cryptographer first. Right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me read the specific instruction on this. So basically, there was. Okay, let me actually play the audio for this as well. You heard that sound? Did you hear that sound? That sound has clues embedded into it, right? So the reason this is called the cryptographer is that's the clue that you get to solve this. The way you solve it was you had to take this, put it into I think a spectrograph analyzer, basically something that takes the sound and visualizes it. And when you do that, what you would get is, let me show you. This dude, Matthias, was able to get this. There is an image where he talks about how exactly you get it. But basically, once you run it through a spectrograph, you get a QR code. When you scan that QR code, it opens a bit.ly URL, which opens up a reply box to Murat Pak's tweet from 2014. And this 2014 tweet says, "Simplest solution unhides itself after remarkable struggle." Right? So Matthias, he won this NFT. So that was one of the things, okay? So interesting. So interesting. Let's talk about the other 3. Number 2 is the hunter. The hunter is whoever buys for the highest amount on the secondary market. What does secondary market mean? It means that if you, for example, bought an open edition, right? Let's say this one here, you bought something during this time. There's going to be a lot of people who check this page on 11:17 p.m. and they're like, "Oh, damn, I just missed it." And they're like, "Is there somebody selling it for 600? I'm ready to pay that extra." Right? What that creates is a secondary market, and this kind of secondary market is built into NFTs. Right? All platforms support. I think all do support this. Right? So, for example, if you were to go to OpenSea, I'm going to open one of the. This was a project that I invested in recently, by the way. So, anybody's interested, great project. But I'll show you one example. Now, on OpenSea, this was a project. It's called Biomes, and let me just refresh this page. Let's see what the price floor is at. Okay, we'll wait for this. What I'm trying to say is that there is a secondary market, right? So the reason you might be thinking, why the hell are so many people, right? Why did 14,000 units of a cube sell? It's because people who bought it, number one, believe in this project. They want to be involved. They want to play this game. But other than that, they will be able to sell this for rewards, for massive profit in the secondary market to other people, right? And even if not immediately, right? There's a lot of people who are trying to flip, and I don't know how that will work out for them. But this is Murat Pak's very first large-scale Sotheby's style auction, right? So this is going to be a historical moment. In the future, of course, Murat Pak is going to do more bigger projects. But the more projects that he does, the more valuable the old projects get. So the Beeple example that we used, $69 million that Metakovan and Tubador, two Tamilians living in Singapore from India, the fact that they paid 69 million, it's going to look like peanuts in the future if everything goes right for them, right? It's the same example of, let's say you look at Instagram. When Facebook bought Instagram, Instagram was very, very new, right? Instagram was literally a year old or something like that, if I'm not wrong. and they had raised around like 10 or 11 days before they sold it to Facebook. And at that round, they were valued at, I think, maybe 25 or 50 million. And when Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion, today it seems obvious. But back then, they were like, people were like, yo, what the fuck is happening? Is Zuck tripping? And basically, what Zuck was doing was playing some big moves, right? He took a bet, and that bet, he was able to get people to support it. It's not a one-time bet. You have to now that you own Instagram, you have to make it worth a lot. They were able to make that happen. Today, Instagram looks like the best investment Facebook's ever made, right? They paid $1 billion for it. Instagram today is worth way more than that. I don't know, of course. Let me just say it's at least 20 billion, because that's what WhatsApp they bought it for. They bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. So imagine that, which only a few people in the world could do. Now you can do as well if you believe in it enough. That's what NFTs are. So, what we were talking about was also the open market. This isn't loading for me for whatever reason, so I'll check back in a bit. We were talking about the hunter. That's what we were talking about. Now, the hunter is whoever acquires it for the highest amount in the secondary market. However, it's also interesting because this doesn't give a time frame. So highest amount in how many days? Because obviously, buying something on a secondary market a year later is going to be way more expensive. So that's interesting. Number 3 is the influencer. The individual that posts Pak was here to the biggest social media audience. This is a very, very interesting social experiment. Because people who already have this kind of social media audience, them making a tweet Pak was here exposes their audience to this new game. Suddenly their followers are going to look at it and be like, yo, what's happening? Right? What is Pak was here? Right? Why is this tweet getting so many retweets? It gets a lot of curious people who have no clue about crypto and NFTs into NFTs. Currently, the individual who has posted this with the most number of followers, can anybody guess? I want to quickly see if somebody in the chat can guess this. Okay. I'm going to wait for a little bit, okay? Can anybody guess who the influencer with the most social media followers who has tweeted Pak was here? Meanwhile, shout out to Philip. Hello, Serg Squad. Woo! Sergs, Crypto Sergs is a project that I strongly believe in. I have not so many Sergs, but a few Sergs. Love Serg Squad. Okay, Crypto Sergs for anybody who's interested. Instagram turned to a $4 billion valuation the next year, right? Facebook literally stole Instagram, right? It's probably $100 billion right now. So imagine if anybody could do that, not just the people who have a lot of money or people who are in the position of Facebook, right? That's what it lets you do. Yes, the person who's currently winning this is Paris Hilton. It's Paris Hilton. Okay, let me show you all. There's a reason why, people are like, bro, Habnux 2, are you seriously? One second. People are like, yo, one second. People are like, yo, are you simping for Paris? Are you kidding me, bro? And the point is, bro, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Paris Hilton is poised to become crypto queen, right? She has a massive influence. And let me just say this. It's not that Paris Hilton is just bimboing into the space. That's wrong. A lot of people are making fun of her saying, yo, oh, so funny, haha, dumb capital. Dude, shut the fuck up, okay? Point is, Paris Hilton, no matter what you might think about her, dude, I have zero opinions on Paris Hilton. I'm not even following her, okay? But the point is, the virus is spreading. Okay? The virus is spreading. What that means is Paris is not stupid, right? If you listen to her interviews where she talks about NFTs, she literally understands NFTs. I wouldn't be surprised if she understands NFTs better than most celebrities out there, right? And most celebrities today are trying to do a pump, right? They're like, let's randomly do a project. NFTs are the hype, everybody will buy. she's taken her time to actually follow people, right? One of the reasons you're seeing Paris a lot on Twitter is because she's following a lot of OG collectors in the space. She's starting these conversations, and moments like these, right? In the moment, we're like, haha, that's so funny, but they add up because this is how normal people get into crypto. For people who are no coiners, who are totally not into crypto, right? We're going to reach a point where buying art, buying NFTs, we're not going to call it NFTs anymore. We're just going to say we're going to buy art, and you can resell that art digitally online, right? Um, so yeah, currently Paris Hilton has the park was here. She has the highest at the moment. How many followers does she has? 16.9 million. So imagine that Paris Hilton has a good chance of winning this. However, somebody else, let's say Kim Kardashian, looks at this and she's like, "Yo, a free NFT." Assuming I'm sure somebody in on Kim Kardashian's team has told her about what NFTs are, right? When you're playing at that level, you have people whose full-time job it is to figure stuff like this out, right? All Kim Kardashian has to do is make a single tweet, right? And then it's somebody with higher numbers. You can be guaranteed, okay? I can guarantee you this. If Trump was still on Twitter, he would have won this for sure. That's not going to happen. So that is the influencer. Influencer is one of my favorites. I know that personally, I cannot win any of these. I cannot win influencer for sure. I don't have that kind of audience. Um, Probably can't win cryptographer either, bro. Like, I'm not that smart, to be very, very honest. But this last one, however, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Oracle. Okay. Yo, people who are like, Paris tweeted 11:11. Why the fuck should she do that? Dude, you have no idea what's happening in the background with me and Paris. We're in the DMs. Just kidding, just kidding. She knows something that a lot of other people don't. I'll just say that. She's got some alpha. The Oracle, the one who most closely estimates the total sale of the entire collection prior to the beginning. So this one is over already. So my bid, let me just say, my guess for this that I tweeted. Now, when I think of Beeple, that one piece sold for 69 million. Now, of course, that in the industry today is the cap, right? I think, if I'm not wrong, that's the highest any crypto project has been sold for. Is that right? Or am I just pulling shit out of my ass? Yes, I think it is. Okay. So my guess is, so at this point, I'm just giving you an insight into how I make these kind of decisions or thing. It's basically you're playing multi-dimensional poker. Let's just recognize it for what it is, right? Nobody knows who's gonna win, but with the set of cards you have, your circumstances, your limited knowledge, you still have to play. My guess, the way I would approach this is I would be like under or over. Is it gonna be under 69 million or above? And I think my guess is 111 million. It's not a great guess. I don't know, but obviously I don't have any expectations of winning this. It's just that I like participating. Whew. So this was the equilibrium. There's just a few more. There's the builder, right? It's a set of 30 NFTs who will be given to people who Park considers trailblazers, people who really made the field easy for people to enter, who made extraordinary leaps in the evolution of media and art. So this will also be interesting to watch because we don't know who's going to be on this list. It's not just going to be crypto people, it's going to be a lot of OG people who might get pulled into this space. We have the switch. It's a switch. You click it and something happens. What happens, we don't know. So what's very interesting is this is an auction, by the way. Currently, I think the price for this is a switch hasn't been listed on auction, I think. Has it? So it's going to be listed in a day, roughly, about 2 days. The current highest auction for it, the price is $1.3 million. Okay. You also see a bid here by 888 For folks who don't know, 888 is one of the prolific collectors. The thing with 888 is all their work they buy it with this kind of price. So you'll find them buying stuff on Foundation all the time for 8.88 ETH. Anyways, this should be interesting to watch. Next 3 days, super interesting. We've got the Switch. We've got the Pixel. Oh, this one is super interesting. This is super interesting. It's a single pixel, right? You can't even see it on the screen. However, there's a bunch of messages mixed into this that people are only now discovering. So earlier today on Twitter, I saw that somebody saved this image and opened it in Notepad, and there was a hidden message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a shot right now. I'm going to try opening this. If it doesn't work, I won't show it on stream. But if it does, we're going to unlock that mystery together. Open with. Okay, for a sec, let me switch my screen share. You're able to see this. So what we're going to do is we're going to open with Notepad. Or text edit rather. Yo, so check this out. The Pixel. So there's a hidden message here. I think all of you should be able to see this. I just opened that PNG in text edit. There's a hidden message here which says, I am the medium. What does it mean? Let's talk about it for a sec. Dude, this is... Oh man, I love this shit, bro. Okay. So, I am the medium. What does it mean? When somebody is an artist and they work with oil, they work with watercolors, right? Their medium is paper, right? It's a physical medium that they use. However, the message I believe Murat Pak is trying to make with the Pixel is when people think of digital art, they're like, yo, it's just Photoshop, right? You've just done this in Photoshop or you used Figma for this. What's the real genuine or what's the real value in something like that? Anybody else can make this, right? It's just a pixel. The point is, NFTs give us that technology to now verify who made it, that proof of ownership on the blockchain. So one pixel by Murat Pak is not equal to one pixel by me that I make on my computer. Why? Because now it's on the blockchain, right? It's that one pixel is now validated. What I think it means is Murat Pak is trying to say, I am the medium. He's trying to talk about the performance art nature of the NFTs. Most artists today haven't fully realized how... Yo, what is this? Okay. Okay. I'll talk about this in just a sec. So most artists today haven't fully realized what NFTs means. People are like, dude, can I just take some old shit, some old work I've done, and can I just put it on, and will people pay me for this? Right. So what you're seeing today is experiments, but also a lot of cash grabs. Artists are like, let's just upload whatever people will buy right now. It's a bull market. However, the artists who are really taking their time to research and understand the space, they know that this is something much bigger. They know that this is an opportunity to build a base of collectors who will support work that they do in the future. In the same way that a startup today raises money from angel investors and venture capital, right? And startups should raise money from the users. There's a few of them doing that, like Gumroad recently did it. But anyways, startups raise from angel investors and venture capital. However, let's say you're an artist, you can't raise angel investment and venture capital. However, you can find collectors, and if you are able to play that NFTs plus community together, this loyal set of collectors will push you forward because now they want the value of your work to increase as well. So they are now literally financially incentivized to make you as an artist grow. That will not happen if you're just going for cash grabs, if you're going for one-off this thing just for the fun of it, right? It's okay if you're doing that, you're understanding the space, but you want to really think about what's the long-term game that I play. which is a collector who buys your work today, can you engage them for the next 10, 40, 50, 100, and with eternal life, 500,000 years, right? For the first time in human history, we have the opportunity to do that. So when Park says, I am the medium, he's talking about the performance art. You are not investing in the pixel, you're investing in Park. You are investing in the work Park has done before, his proof of work, right? All the stuff that he's done earlier. You are investing in Park's future because you believe that this person is going to redefine art, not just digital art, but art. You believe Park is the next Picasso. If you were living in the time of Picasso, you probably didn't make any money from Picasso, right? Why? Because even if you held that painting back when Picasso was alive, how would you pass it on to your family, right? Your family probably couldn't make money from it. Or if you didn't store it correctly, suddenly price tanks, right? Or one person in your family lineage just sold it, right? With smart contracts, you can literally set up rules. You can set contracts that say, hey, this is how I want my art to be managed 100 years or 200 years from now. Whether I'm alive or whether I'm just partying in a different galaxy somewhere else uh, in the universe, right? Smart contracts can execute that for you. Imagine having a team of lawyers or whoever else, but now it's just the smart contract that executes it. Man, I love what's happening. Okay, that is the pixel. I have some amazing stuff happening in chat. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a bit. The way Park was able to get Sotheby's on board is another interesting thing. This is so meta, okay? Park put out a tweet called The Gift, and he says, the first auction house to hit me up and we'll do something together. He's literally putting out this bait. He's saying, any auction house that hits me up, this is an NFT you get for your private collection, but then you help me set up this for a bigger audience. Sotheby's replied, they DM'd. Oh, I love the storytelling, bro. This is so good. I'm going to just make this full screen. 1 second. You know what? Let me start this over with the music. Wow, just goosebumps watching that, bro. That is so good. Okay. Amazing, amazing. Let's jump back into comments for a while. Hello. Dude, what a fucking video, man. How can you watch that and not be blown away? Like, woo! Amazing, amazing. Okay. What's interesting, I will say another one. Another point is if you think about art has typically, the perception of art has been for a slightly older crowd. When we think of art, we don't really think about ourselves. We think of boomers in some way. It's changing today for sure, right? Imagine this, dude. Have you ever considered that you might one day be able to participate in the Sotheby's auction? I didn't, right? But dude, that's so crazy that this is happening. So, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This is so true, right? Which is Park is not a traditional artist, bro. Park is a programmer. He is a developer who got into design. And then he was like, what else can we do with development plus design? Dude, Park is us. Park is us. Park is a very, very strong generalist. His projects in the past have been side hustles. They haven't been art projects. They've been side hustles, right? A lot of them have been fairly boring projects, right? But the point is, Park has been doing that consistently. He's developed this voice, and he's also pseudonymous, which definitely adds to the intrigue. So, dude, it's cool. Like, it's almost like hackers have, and when I say hackers, I'm talking about programmers and people like us who are digital natives. We have sort of recreated what it means um, to be an artist. We've recreated art from the bottom up, and yo, this is some killer shit. I love that. Elon Musk is doing some stuff. Like, I'll say Elon Musk is more of he's more of a hype guy. So he put out this one NFT which was like this something rotating, and he was like, "Oh, my first NFT," but he didn't actually list that for sale. So what people ended up doing was using this thing called vcent. It's called cent.co, I think, and they just bought that tweet. So there is a now a bidding market for tweets as well, by the way. Let me quickly show you that for folks who might not be familiar with this. To be listed on, so let me quickly give you some vocab as well, right? Sotheby's is an auction house. They have not too much to do with crypto, although as an auction house, they're now exploring these new formats. Nifty Gateway. Nifty is partnering with Sotheby's for this, so they're the gateway for this. The reason it's called Nifties is because NFT, they want to make Nifty, they want to popularize that term. But Nifty Gateway is by none other than the Winklevi twins from the Social Network, if you remember, right? So undeniably, the Winklevi twins are doing something way more interesting than than Zuckerberg at the moment. But that's what Nifty Gateway is from. And typically, if you want to list something for sale, this was a project I was trying to show you all, by the way. I bought some of these yesterday and I gave them away as gifts to two friends of mine. I love the concept behind this. This is a tribute to Conway's Game of Life. If you know what Conway's Game of Life is, it's basically how you can prove we live in a simulation by creating a prototype. So each of these can be, the reason I call biomes is each of these can be considered a snapshot of a simulation that runs without anybody creating the rules. I'll talk about that in a different video, what Conway's Game of Life is. But the reason I was talking about this is typically you would have to list something on an exchange for people to be able to buy it, right? So, for example, these folks have created this set of 200 biomes. Only 200 will be minted. And, of course, you can see the stats and stuff. But what this guy has done, Elon, is I don't think he's officially listed on any exchange. But Cent.co is an upcoming company in the space, and they let you buy tweets. So I've actually bought a couple tweets myself. Let me see if I forgot what's the link. Is it v.cent.co? Interesting. Where is... Anyways, so Elon hasn't really publicly sold NFTs, although his tweets, vCent lets you buy anybody's tweets, and if the owner of that tweet signs up, they get that Ethereum. So his tweets have been sold. Thank you for this, Philip. So He has teased NFTs, yes, but he hasn't actually released something. This is another great example. Mark Cuban's first NFT. He made 10 of them, and now they're priced quite high. And also, NFTs can be burned. So you as somebody who own the NFT, or if you're a creator and you're holding it, you can burn NFTs. You might think, why do we need this? We need it because it's not that everybody will use it, but when you're creating a protocol, when you're creating this with Ethereum, you're saying multiple developers can build their own applications on top of it. You need to allow for it. So that's one of the reasons burning exists. But other than that, you can think of burning as, let's say a project launches 10 or 100 of something, and now they're not getting bought. Technically, they can burn their supply so that the ones that are remaining will increase in value, right? And that's what I think happened with Mark Cuban's thing. So when you burn an NFT, it increases the scarcity of the remaining ones. So for the Park launch, for the Park drop today, a lot of people are saying that the cubes that you get, you will get the NFT, but you can redeem the cubes for something. So you can burn the cubes to get artwork. Another rumor, I don't know how true this is that let me phrase this correctly. Another rumor is that with these cubes, Murat Pak is inventing a new type of currency for his future projects. So there's a good chance that people who buy these cubes become the collectors, and now all future projects that Park does, you would have to exchange cubes instead of Ethereum. So you would have to trade the NFTs. So that is another super interesting reason. So that's the performance art nature of it, which is all of this comes together in a very interesting way. I will show you this other example as well that somebody is experimenting with. And now this is someone whose artwork I own. Their name is CompuSophie. CompuSophie on Twitter. CompuSophie said, so CompuSophie is a Murat Pak collaborator, which is CompuSophie owns some Murat Pak pieces, as well as, I mean, they follow each other and talk to each other on Twitter. So CompuSophie is connected to Murat Pak somehow. However, CompuSophie did this experiment where he said, hey, you want to crowdfund a bunch of cubes, right? How about we crowdsource the fungible connection, right? So instead of buying $500 worth, the minimum was, I think, $100. And they're like, we're going to buy a shit ton of cubes. We're going to buy 186 cubes. So what he did was he listed one of his NFTs, which represents this, on Rarible. It's called Collective. And I'm saying I'll say they because I don't know if CompuSophie is a dude or a girl. But check this out. So 250 of these were made. I think more than this, more than 250. But this represents partial ownership of the 186 cubes that they're buying. You might be confused. You're like, how does that work? But dude, today the buzz is all NFTs. Very soon, the buzz is going to be around DAOs. And a DAO, dude, it's going to blow you away. For those who've never heard of what a DAO is, today, if you want to start a company, you got to register that company with the government in your country, in India or in the US, a Delaware C Corp. A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. So with this, you can literally spin up a company in the way you spin up a server, right? You set up a DAO where you say, hey, this is our initial this thing. Our team will retain, this percentage of coins. Our management, they get this much. Every employee is just a token holder on this DAO. So what CompuSophie will probably do, my guess, is he's got a Discord for everybody who bought. I think it's an open Discord though. Everybody who owns a part of this, which is CompuSophie's thing, will probably get into a DAO. Maybe the fungible DAO is what he might call it, what they might call it. And that fungible DAO then becomes a special purpose company that has been created specifically for holding Murat's art. And then it can do more stuff. So if you have this, you can now vote. You can vote on governance decisions, right? So it then becomes this huge decentralized entity, organism. And DAOs not talked about much today. However, DAOs are going to be the primitives that we need to set up our own cities, to set up our own countries. A lot of you might not know this, but it's actually not illegal to set up your own country. It's your own city, sorry, or a town, right? If you find this unused, this thing, you buy a bunch of land, you can actually, I heard this on Balaji's podcast, by the way. You can buy land, you can get a police force, and you can set up a proper city. What Balaji and a lot of believers in crypto believe is that we're going to reach a point where we're going to make our own countries. Right? Today, people are making startups, but people are just going to make countries and cities in the future. And the way to do that would be DAOs, because you don't want to be under the control of a government, right? And I don't mean this from a tax evasion kind of perspective. It's just, how hard it is to send payroll, to send money to people in 2 different countries, let alone 100 different countries who participated in this. Crypto makes that really simple. Smart contracts makes that really simple. So DAOs are going to be really, really interesting. So if you want to join CompuSophy's Discord, you'll find the link somewhere on his Twitter. We also have a Bruh Discord. So for people who are interested in that, I will be sharing a link to it right after the stream on Twitter. We're coming up to the last 1 or 2 minutes of our stream. This stream just, how do I say, whooshed past. Okay, this is a stream where I am literally going to spend the next 10 minutes, I mean, not 10 minutes, 10 to 20 hours, next 3 days absorbed in Murat Pak's drop. It's going to be very interesting. So if you want updates, follow me on Twitter, Abnux2, same name as the YouTube channel. Please like this video, right? I see a lot of viewers here haven't liked it. We're doing daily streams, so I will see you tomorrow at the same time. We didn't do a bail break today, so my apologies for that. We will have more commercial breaks in the future, but today we didn't do that. There is a Bruh Discord for everybody who's here who wants to also talk about this further. I'll be sharing the link for about an hour on my Twitter right after this. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you on tomorrow's stream. Namaste and bye-bye.